Welcome to today's practice. Today is day 8 of our 10-day yoga challenge on and off the mat, and it's Monday. So we're going to start in a little bit dynamic way to bring energy into the body and get ready for the week. Today's flow is called the connected practice, and we will be working on binds, creating sort of energetic circuits in our body. For today's practice, a strap may be handy, and as always, feel free to have blocks and cushions available for you to use. I will always guide you through variations. I will meet you on the mat in Balasana, Child's Pose.
We are starting in Balasana, Child's Pose, with your arms forward and your ribcage resting on your thighs. Feel free to spread your knees a little bit apart. Your bum resting on your heels, or perhaps with a cushion in between. Let's take a few breaths here, grounding through our shins, forehead, and arms. One more breath. Simple inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth or nose. Now activate your arms, reach further forward, and as you inhale, come onto all four.
Open through your chest, look up, and then tuck your toes under, press back into downward facing dog. Feel free to keep your knees bent. With your next inhale, knees down, all four, open through the chest. Exhale, sit back, Balasana. 2 more times like this. Inhale, all four, opening up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feeling the stretch in the back body. Inhale, knees down, open through the chest, look up. Exhale, rounding your back and coming into Balasana. Inhale, forward, open through the chest. Exhale, press back into down dog. Inhale, coming down, knees on the floor. Exhale, sit back.
We will find our way back into down dog through all four.
And then exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths in here. Feel free to pedal your feet or take a static down dog. One last one. And then with your next exhale, step your left foot forward in between your hands, knee bent. Back heel can come down for warrior one, or you can stay with your heel up for high lunge. Front knee bent, inhale, rise up, lift your arms up. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, holding on opposite elbows, or bringing your hands on opposite shoulders. Press your head against your arms, open through the chest. One breath. And then with your next inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, open into warrior two. So hips to the long edge of your mat. Lower down, arms parallel with the floor, knee pointing towards the short edge of your mat. And then bring your back arm onto your lower back or hooking onto your front thigh. One more breath. And now with your next exhalation, bend your left elbow, bring your elbow on top of your left thigh. Tailbone is pointing towards your back heel. You may either stay here or perhaps try to bind by bringing your left arm behind your left thigh. And here you may grab onto your t-shirt or use a strap behind or hold on to your wrist. Let's open through the chest. Look up. And then as you exhale, release your arms and walk your hands to the center of the long edge of your mat. Turn your left foot in, Prasarita Padottanasana. We're going to come up a little bit. Interlace your fingers behind, or you can just grab onto your elbows. Inhale and open. And then exhale, fold forward and down. You may not get this low, and that's perfectly fine, working with your body and where it is today. One more breath. Micro bend in your knees, or perhaps you're trying to straighten. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, release, and we're going to walk the hands to the right, towards your right foot. Turn your right foot out. Bend your right knee, and then either your right elbow on top of your thigh, left hand behind onto your lower back, or you're trying to bind. If you're binding, you can use a strap or hold onto your t-shirt. Open through the chest, look up. And then with your next inhalation, come into warrior two. Your back arm stays behind your back or grabbing onto that right thigh. And if you find yourself with a long stance, feel free to hop the back foot slightly forward. Look over your right fingertips. And with the next inhale, high lunge or warrior one. Now here, bend your elbows, hold on to them, or bring both hands on the opposite shoulder. Press your head against your arms. And then as you exhale, hug your ribcage in. With the next inhale, arms up. Exhale, step to the back of your mat, arms down. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into half lift, flat back. Exhale, hands on the ground, step into plank. Lowering down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga, elbows close to the ribcage. Inhale into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Voila. Keep your knees bent or straight in down dog. Press the floor away. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other. Yeah. And with your next exhalation, we're stepping the right foot forward in between your hands. Back heel up or down. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one or high lunge. Bend your elbows, hold on to the opposite elbow or hands on the opposite shoulder. Press your head against your arms. Open through the chest, strong legs. With your next exhalation, open straight into warrior two. Yeah. Bend that right knee a little bit more and then bring your left arm behind your back. As you exhale, bend your right elbow, bring it on top of your right knee, opening through the chest. You can stay right here or try to bind using a strap or holding onto your arms, your wrists. As you exhale, unbind, bringing both hands on the inside of your right foot and then walking them into the center of your mat. Turn your right foot in. Here we're going to hold on with your hands on your thighs or shins or ankles. Inhale and lengthen, micro bend in your knees. Exhale, forward fold. If you're holding onto your shins or ankles, open your elbows, activate your arms. So you may be right here, and that's great, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure your spine is nice and long and you're not rounding and hunching your back. Feel free to use blocks to support your hands if you wish. One more breath. Inhale, come halfway. And then as you exhale, walk your hands to the left foot, turn your left foot out, bend the left knee, elbow on top of your knee, or we're coming into that bind. So whichever one you choose, your right arm is behind your back, binding, open, tailbone pointing towards your heel. As you inhale, come into warrior two. That right arm stays behind your back. One breath. And with next inhale, swing your right arm forward and up, back heel up or down, warrior one or high lunge. Inhale, reach a little higher. Exhale, bend your elbows, holding on to your opposite elbows or to the opposite shoulders. Opening through your chest, hug your ribcage in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step forward. We'll take a vinyasa here. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent or straight. Inhale into half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step into plank. Lowering down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two in down dog, finding stillness in this strong pose. And with your next exhale, bring your knees on the ground, cross your ankles, sit back, and stretch your legs forward. We'll do a Marichyasana A, so you may want to take a folded blanket or a flat cushion to lift your hips higher up. I like to sit just on the edge because that's allowing for the right pelvic tilt for me to keep my spine straight. Flex your feet and then bend your left knee and bring it about one fist away from your right thigh, close to your bum. We're going to inhale, lift the left arm up. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, reach as far forward as you can. And then bind your left arm or wrap your left arm around your left shin, coming onto your lower back. Now your right arm reaches forward to the side and back. You can either use a strap, just hold on to your t-shirt, or maybe you can grab your wrist. Make sure that your right toes are pointing up to the sky. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, try to reach forward with your heart and down. Another breath in here. And then as you inhale, come up. Exhale, release the pose over to the other side. Stretch your left leg, toes pointing up. Bend your right knee, one fist away from your thigh, so there's space for your torso. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Exhale, hinge forward, wrapping your right arm around, and then left arm come behind, either holding onto a strap, t-shirt, or your wrist. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, let's try to come a little more forward. Steady breath, peaceful mind. One more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release, stretching both legs forward, coming into Dandasana, preparation for Pashimothanasana, forward fold. You may want to use a strap here, especially if your hamstrings feel a little tighter today. Then you wrap it around your feet and hold with each hand on one side. Make sure that if you're using a strap, your elbows stay a little bit bent so your shoulders stay relaxed. If you're not using a strap, this is equally important. We're going to inhale and lengthen, and exhale, hinge from your hips, coming with your chest slightly forward. If you don't have a strap or you want to try to reach with your hands, hands on your shins, ankles, or hooking on to the big toes. Make sure that you're not rounding your back and hiding your heart in. Open through the heart. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, come a little forward. Wherever you are in your practice, and whatever your body needs today, listen to your body and use smart props to practice well. One more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the pose. And we have one last pose ahead of us, Bharajvanasana. We've practiced this In the challenge, in is a little bit more excessive alternative. So I will show you different ways how to get into that today. So the variation of Bharajvanasana that we've practiced is with the legs folded to the side, top ankle in the arch of the bottom foot, and then twisting away from our knees and looking forward. This is your accessible variation. Feel free to take this one or follow me for a little bit more advanced version. So sitting with your legs straight forward, bend your right knee and then bring your right foot on the outside of your right hip. This in itself can be quite a challenge, so feel free to take a bolster and lift your bum up, sitting up onto a bolster or another prop such as a block. Okay? Now, this makes it a little bit more accessible as our hips are lifted. Now I want to lean back so I can hold onto my foot and bring it onto that right hip crease. And now as you can see, my knee is hanging in the air. So I'm going to take a block or fold another cushion and support my knee here. So if you can get to this pose, feel free to use as much cushioning as you find around the house. If you feel comfortable here, feel free to stay. Otherwise, choose the previous variation of Bharajvanasana. Now we're going to take the left arm behind your back, and here you start twisting. Hold on to that big toe right here. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand on your left knee, and then look over your right shoulder, so looking forward. Few breaths. With your next exhale, unwind, and we'll take it to the other side. So how to get out of this? First, your top leg. Remove one cushion, then lift up, remove the other pillow, and come back into seated. Fold your left leg, left foot next to your left hip. Maybe a bolster under your right hip. Bending your right knee. We're going to lean back so you can grab your foot and bring it into that left hip crease. And this is really important. If this is not comfortable, go for the previous variation. Folding another cushion. I'm going to support my right knee. And here I am, relatively comfortable. Each side is always different, so that don't get yourself fooled when one side is comfortable and then the other side becomes frustrating. You can choose a more accessible variation in any case, even different one for each side. Let's go on right arm behind onto the lower back. Hold on to that big toe. Inhale and lengthen, and then exhale, twist to the right, but look left. Solid breath. Guiding your breath into your intercostal muscles, into your rib cage. And with your next exhale, unwind. Safely come out of the pose, take your time. And I will invite you to come into a comfortable seat. So any comfortable seated position, feel free to use a chair as well. In your comfortable seat, make sure that your spine is nice and long, reaching up through the crown of your head and rooting down through your sit bones. Feel free to close your eyes and take a few breaths. We will practice Hakini Mudra. Hakini Mudra is connected with our third eye, with our mind. It harmonizes the left and right hemisphere of our brain, and it revitalizes and refreshes our brain. It is practiced by bringing hands together and connecting one finger to the other on the opposite hand. So pinky to pinky, ring finger to ring finger, middle to middle, and so on. Connecting thumbs as well. Now lower your hands on the level of your chest. Elbows are open to the sides. And if your eyes are open now, close them again. And we'll stay here for a few moments focusing on your breath and noticing if you can catch any subtle energy running through the fingers and from your mudra. Whenever your mind travels, try to bring your awareness towards your third eye, in the middle of your eyebrows, but deep inside your head, in the center of your head, where you can find complete stillness, darkness, and nothing but the now. We'll take 3 more breaths. If you're finding yourself in a good place, feel free to stay here for a little longer. Otherwise, you can disconnect your hands and bring them on your knees. Take your time to notice what has the practice done to you, what's going on inside, in your mind, in your heart, in your body. And whenever the time is right, you can lie down into Shavasana. Take your favorite Shavasana, using blankets to cover yourself or prop your knees, prop your ankles, maybe your head. And take a few minutes at least in complete relaxation. Thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you tomorrow for day number 9.